If you build above ground, thus above like second floor, you have to have foundation underneath it. And that's where this gets expensive. It's not like there's not dumpster garbage bins right here. Oh, it has an A320 in the morning. We will accept that. Let's go ahead and start dropping these in here. So aero time, it's going to be 0600, gate A1. Howdy, howdy, folks. A-Train here with you for another episode of SimAirport in early access. However, it's Daytona Day, a special day for us race fans, but also we are going to explore what's going on the Edge server. Now, if you're not aware of this, the game's in early access general release. You can purchase it and you can play the version that's out there to the general public and what have you. Now, if you want to see what's coming up and be part of the testing process, what you do is you go to your Steam library and right-click on SimAirport, and then you'll see properties, and you click on properties. Now there will be a tab at the top where you can select the game version, the betas or what have you. So there's the general version, which is the most tested out version and is the most vanilla, as it were. All right, that's the most stable. That's the one that's been worked over the most. Then there's the experimental server, where that's the next biggest pool of users. And then there's the Edge server. And the Edge server is where the latest and greatest and major changes are being tested by a smaller group of users. Okay. Once that group works through and massages over, you know, the devs massage the code and they get all the bugs worked out and what have you, then it drops to the experimental server level, and then a larger group of people play through it and play with it and then report bugs, and it gets massaged some more and what have you. And then after a couple month process or so, then it drops to the general server. Okay, so that's how the process works. Now, recently someone brought to my attention that the Edge server, they're testing multi-level terminals, and they said, hey, you want to check that out, A-Train? And I said, hey, I think I might just do that. So the other day I went in and played on it for a couple of hours, and played about another hour or so on it yesterday, and I got to say, it is awesome. All right, for the most part. Now, it's not perfect, but multi-level part, that aspect is awesome. It seems to be working really well. Let me just load up what I've got, and then we'll I want to take you through the process, because I recorded when I was doing this initially, and it took like 2 hours. I have 2 hours of recording, and I don't want to necessarily goof around and waste your time with it. I want to. There's two major things you need to know: how to do the multiple levels and how to do the baggage system. All right, and that's what I want to work on in this video. But let's just show you how it looks, how my airport looks. Now, I built on sandbox mode, so I'm like 1.8. Or, okay, 2.3 million in the hole. All right, so I built a sandbox mode extra large map, and this is what I've got. Now, the thing you need to look for is over here on the right. See this right here? This is your floor level. All right, there are 5 floors available. G is ground floor. You can go down to the basement 1, which is the first floor below the ground level, and then basement 2 is second level below that. And then above ground, you've got 2 levels. All right, so there's ground level, there's 2 below, and there's 2 above. Okay, now I've only messed with 1 below and 1 above. All right, so let's just take a look in here. What I've got is 2 small gates and 1 medium gate, served by serving a large runway. Large runway, 150 tile runway. So the 707s, the 76s can fly in and out of this airport. Okay, I don't have any 76s. The biggest aircraft I have currently flying in and operating is a 70, just because I didn't want to build out the facilities for that many people, for just hundreds of people. All right, so let's talk about real quick what you're going to see in some of this with the interaction. Now, it is not finalized, I can tell you that much. And why I say that is the PAX will walk through objects, so there's a physics aspect that is not enabled. You'll see them board or deboard aircraft, and they'll shoot right through the queue area. They'll run through benches. They'll run through the pizza joint. Now they won't go through walls, but they get awful close. Now the janitors will go through the walls, so they're kind of like Vision in that regard, I guess, on the Avengers. So that's something I'm sure the devs will hammer down. But I think the critical part of what has been done here is actually getting the multiple level system to work. And then they'll tighten up the code, enable the physics of the peeps not to walk through, or the PAX walking through objects. Because on the Let's Play series I'm doing, you'll notice when the aircraft deplanes, those folks go around the queue. They do not go through it. All right, it's really good, really smooth, and it looks really nice. Okay, so here's what we're seeing. This is ground level. Now, if you note, there's no gate access over here. That's because for medium gates, their access, the jetway, is on the second level, which is one above ground. Okay, small gates, though, access on the ground level. All right, so that's something you need to know. Small gates are on the first floor. All right, and I'm going to tell you something right here in advance. This stuff ain't cheap. All right, I started with 1.5 million in bank balance, and as I go through the process, you'll see why it gets really expensive really quick. And the critical thing there is, for anything you build above ground level, you've got to have foundation on ground level. All right, so that's the important part. I mean, it's day 24, and I'm 2.3 million in the hole, so that means I'm 3.9 million into this so far, probably 4 million, easy. All right, so that said, let's take a look at what I got here. So this is ground floor. All right, here's pickups and drop-offs, and I've got some sidewalk done around here, so don't, get caught up in that looking funky. All right, so what happens is packs get dropped off here at the drop-off, and doggone, I just noticed we're at the frickin' end of the day, so you're not going to see a whole lot of this. But packs go in this door here. All right, and then there's this escalator to floor 2 and stairway to floor 2. Now, I want you to notice something. See their little green area here? See how it's kind of glowing green? Stairs are kind of self-explanatory. People can go either way, up and down stairs, even though this indicates it's going stairway up to floor 2, right? Because if you look here, here's a stairway to floor 2, and this woman's going up it. And you'll see when I show you floor 2, she ain't going to get very far, okay? Now, that said, here's another escalator, and it says from floor 2, which means it's coming down from the second floor. And see how it kind of glows red? That means packs cannot ride up that escalator. They go up this one. They cannot go up this one. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? Now over here, I've got a couple of sets of stairways to floor 2. I do not have an escalator. All right? And I may go back and dink around with that and change it or what have you. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, it's not perfect yet, and that's why it's in the edge branch. Okay? It's got a lot of bugs. These 3 people are now moving. When I saved this, they were stuck. One of them was stuck here for quite some time. So people were getting hung up here, and I'm not sure why. But if you see here, here's an escalator to floor -1. That's the first basement level. Here's a escalator from floor -1. So packs will go down the stairs in the middle, or down the escalator, and they come up this one. Now, where does this one go? Well, it goes under the taxiway and over here to this remote terminal. And here's where the one comes up from floor -1. Here's a stairway. Here's the escalator down to floor -1. Packs cannot go through red. They can go through green. Okay? That's how those work. And I'll show you here in just a minute how that looks, and then I'll show you how to build all this. Okay? So, and that's something I wanted to test. Hey, can you go and say you have a taxiway? This would be like at Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, right? Are you guys familiar with Atlanta Hartsfield? You have like, you come in from the road or the train or whatever, and there's like the ticketing area, and then there's security. Once you pass through that, there's a series of gates because you're at Terminal A. And Terminal A runs perpendicular to the runways. All right, Atlanta's runways are east-west. All right, so this terminal runs north-south. Okay, Now, there's like 5 terminals at Hartsfield. You go through A, and there's escalators and elevators and stairs down underground, okay? And what that does is it takes you down to like a, I don't know what you call a concourse that basically connects all the terminals underground. There's a little rolling tram system. I mean, it looks like it's kind of like a train, but it's not. It's on wheels, and it's automated. So there's a tram system that runs between the terminals so you can get there quickly, because you're covering several hundred yards between them, because as you go underground, you're going under the length of a gate. You're going underneath the width of 2 taxiways, I think, and then another gate width. So you're going several hundred yards. And then if you're going to Terminal B, you'd get off the tram or you'd walk that distance. And there's people movers, you know, the escalators that run flat. There's stuff like that down there too. And then you'd hop on the escalator or take the stairs or elevator up to Terminal B. And if you're going to Terminal C, you just keep going. And then the same thing occurs. You go the same distance, boom, there's Terminal C. So it's really cool. So I just wanted to test that. I laid in some taxiway and figured it out. Now there's one little trick to it I'm going to show you that you need to know, so it'll make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so here's the ground level. So I've got some offices here. I got a flight crew lounge. We've got these are non-secure restrooms here at baggage claim. Here's secure area restrooms. Here's a security exit. So for gate A1, these are the bathrooms, right? So packs come in at gate A1, or they're down here for gate A1. They can make a pit stop here. Likewise, they come down from the upper floor because that's where they check through ticketing and security. They can go underneath over here to gate B1, and there's secure area restrooms here as well. All right? So you've got everything here you would expect to have at a regular airport. I kind of modeled this a little bit after DFW, Dallas Fort Worth International. You arrive for departures at the ground level. Now, I don't know where we stand on the roadways yet. I doubt that's been worked up as yet. But that's okay, because I'm sure they'll get to it, and there's going to be cool ways to do it. Your car or your bus, or you're coming from rental cars, or maybe a hotel van, or a bus from remote parking, drops you off on the ground level. All right? So this is the ground level. And there you go through doors and you go up stairways or escalators or an elevator up to the 2nd floor. That's where ticketing is, and that's where security is. And at DFW, that's actually where baggage claim is. All right. This kind of is like John Wayne SNA out in Orange County, California. There, everything is on the 2nd floor except baggage claim, and that's on the 1st floor. So when you walk in off the street, baggage claim is there, and then you go upstairs, and you get your ticketing, and then you check through security, and then you got all your gates. Okay, so I wanted to do the bi-level thing here, and I just think it looks really cool. Okay, and I haven't dressed it up yet. I haven't put any stuff in here as far as, you know, carpets or anything like that. So forgive me for, you know, just keeping it pretty utilitarian and making it functional, because I wanted to be able to explain this. Now, if you notice, you'll see some stuff here. These are conveyors. This is the baggage system. Okay, so this is saying conveyor transition to floor 2. This is just a section of conveyor. This is floor -1, which is the basement. Same thing happens over here. Now, when we build this, I'm going to show you how these tie together. So there's a little bigger gap here and a little smaller gap here. It's because I knew something here that I didn't know here. I did this one first, and then I had to add some ticketing, so I set this up. And I wound up having to add foundation onto the building over here to create this little corridor area to run my extra baggage through. And as we go up to floor 2, you'll see where and how that ties into the ticketing desks. Anyway, so here's your baggage carousels, and so people come in and they take the stairs or the escalator up to floor 2. Some people are goofy. They'll come in, they'll sit down because they want to sit, or they'll get a Coke and a Smile out of the vending machine. Maybe they go to the bathroom. And so some people come in and dink around in here, and then they'll go back out, and they have to go around and up here to get up to ticketing. All right. So without further ado, let's head up to the 2nd floor, and you're going to see things, especially down here, change. Okay. Here we go. Boom. 2nd floor. So now it's floor 2. All right. All right. So you come up the stairway or the escalator from the ground floor, notice it's red on this end, which means packs can't go down it, but they will go down the stairway. So that's just the way it works. Now let's just click on it. It just says dismantle. So there's no maintenance aspect to the escalators. All right. So packs go through the door, they come upstairs, and then they're in the ticketing area. Now this was my original ticketing section over here. And you can see they're tied into this conveyor system, and then there's a conveyor transition to the ground floor, and then there was a conveyor to transition there to the basement, all right, to basement 1. That's how they tie together. Now, that started glomming up a little bit, and so I was having some problem with passenger throughput. So I decided to add all this over here. I had built most of this except for this last couple of 3 tiles over here. I think the wall was originally right here. Yeah, this was the original wall. So I added 2 more tiles so I could squeeze in the baggage system. Here's a conveyor transition to the ground floor. These are 1 tile wide by, let's see here, utilities, conveyor. I think it's 1 by 3. Nope, it's 1 by 2. All right. So 1 by 2. Oh, and then you got to tie in. See the little gray suitcase at the top? Let's zoom in here. See, there's a gray suitcase and an arrow going up and down, right? That means you can tie it into something else. Now, the green suitcase means it is tied into something else. All right, that indicates to you that your baggage is hooked up and it's good to go, right? Okay. So, so we have ticketing. We added all this new ticketing here. We just run a conveyor across here, ran it over, and then transition down, boom, to ground floor, and then boom down to the basement. And we'll show you that here in a minute. All right, then everybody checks through security. Security has not changed. It's all as it was. I've got 3 security lines currently. I'm going to have to add to that because I'm running more packs through, and they're getting a little bit held up here. Then we cut around this restroom area. It's a little narrow. It's not pretty. I'd like it to be better, but it is what it is for now. So we have secure area restrooms here. All right, this is for arriving and departing packs. So we've got doors at both ends. Then we have the stairways here, which take you back down to the ground floor and gate A1. Or you can walk your way along and go over to gate A2, right? So let's zoom out. So you can't see anything here, all right? But this outline indicates that's stuff that's on a different floor. In this case, the upper floor. Okay, so now here, there's, or in this, I'm sorry, it's on the lower floor. See, here's stuff right here, but there's nothing there on the upper floor. Now, what that means is I can build on top of this. Now, on each floor you build, you have to build foundation. So, well, okay, let me pause. Anything ground level or above, you have to build foundation. Ground level, below ground level, you don't, and I'll demonstrate that in a bit because I figured that out during this process. So we've got a little bit here that we've got ground level, but we don't have here on the second level, and this is ground level, but nothing below. So I was thinking probably about adding some space on here and maybe putting in some seating or moving the bar over here just to create a bigger, you know, opening and space here, what have you. All right, so packs arrive through gate A2, which is our medium gate, and they come in and out on the jetway, right? And then they work their way out, and they'll go blasting through the bar here. Let's go ahead and put this in motion and let you see kind of how, well, I don't want to do it that fast. But you'll see how packs flow. Now you're seeing people go downstairs, you see people come upstairs. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, now it looks like people are coming upstairs here, and then they're disappearing, but then they reappear over here. Okay, see, like lady in pink shirt, there she is. All right, so they're coming upstairs. Packs that are departing then go out this hallway and through the security exits, and then they go back downstairs. That guy just came back upstairs to go to the garbage bin, even though there's a garbage bin. And then they are down on the lower level. We've got both baggage carousels running, and they're taking in bags from everybody. Now, see, on the ground floor, they go out the door, they go up the stairway onto the aircraft. On the second floor, they go through the jetway out to the aircraft. All right, so medium gate, second floor. Small gate, first floor, ground floor. Okay, so that's how that works. Now that one's pulling out and getting ready to depart. Now, there's nothing to see over here at B1, the other small gate. All right, so here's the upper level. I got first class lounge going on and, like, you know, other amenities and stuff. Somebody missed their flight. You're an idiot. All right, too bad. Okay, so that's the second floor. And again, the key for the second floor, if I want to build something on the second floor, Let's go to foundation. See how it's red here, but it's green here. You cannot build on the second level unless there's something below it on the first level, on ground floor. Okay, so I could make an addition here, but cannot here, unless I add stuff on the ground floor first. Okay, that's how the multi-level works as far as building goes. All right, so now we've seen the we're going to speed it up. We're going to drop down to ground floor and now basement level. And here is our baggage system and our underground tunnel. Okay, so let me walk you through this, because here we've got the hubs. Now there's only one kind of hub at this point, and I think it works. It may take a little bit of thought, but you should be pretty used to it. It's a 6-port hub. It's under utilities. All right, notice there's two for baggage. There's baggage carousel, and by the way, devs, nice job. The baggage, let's pop back up to the ground floor so I can show you this in zoom. Look here. It works. Now there's something in the middle of the baggage carousel, which is the baggage coming up from below, boink, and then it goes out and around the carousel. All right, cool. So that's cool about the baggage carousel. Then you have 2-way conveyors. Then you have 1-way conveyors. You have conveyors down, conveyors up, and the baggage hub, and the baggage depot. All right, baggage depot is kind of the same as it was, although here it says blue endpoint is outbound, pink, they haven't changed the description, okay, of the baggage depot yet. So that's something that still needs to be done. All right, so here's my system. Now, if you remember, I've got ticketing up on the second floor along this wall. There's 2 desks, and there's like 5 desks along here, right? So then there's a transition down to ground floor, and then there's this transition down. So this says transition to ground floor. Well, this is coming down. It says up here. There's an up arrow. I think that's got to get tweaked, just because it's misleading. All right, but that's how it works. So bags come down here. Let me make sure I've got that right, because I may sound like an idiot here. That's going up. Conveyor down. All right, conveyor down has a down arrow. Let me make sure. Let me see what I've got. Maybe I do have it dinked up. Oh, no. See, here's, okay. See, so here it says conveyor down, and it says correctly, conveyor transition to floor -1, which is basement 1. All right. So this is a little misleading at this point, and it probably ought to say down because it's coming down from up above. All right. So devs, maybe consider that, because we don't want to confuse people with this. Okay. So how do the hubs work? All right. Here's the baggage hub. Now, let me put it over here so you can see it. All right. It says invalid placement, but we'll hold it still for a second. All right. Now look at the gray suitcases around it. Okay. The short ends have 2-way connections, and you can see that with the little conveyor section that sticks out just a little bit right above my mouse pointer right here. See that? That's a 2-way connection. That's where you connect a hub to a hub. All right. Then you have 2 inputs, which are the top 2, and 2 outputs, which are the bottom 2. Now, on the current iteration of the game, the top 2 would be blue, and the bottom 2 would be pink. All right, because, and that's just from an arrow perspective. You can connect pink to pink, and it can flow both ways. Well, that doesn't work with this one. Okay, it's a one-way. So the top 2 are in, and the bottom 2 are out. Okay, so and you can rotate these, and so you can get it into the position you need it. It's a pretty good size, though. Let's, just for giggles, I think it's the same size as the old ones, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3. Yes, 5 by 3. So same size as the old hubs, except the big ones. Same size, I think, as the smaller hubs. Anyway, all right, so how does it work? All right, so you saw my ticketing desks up on the 3rd floor. Then there's a transition down, then there's a connection to the next transition. All right, and if you saw when I laid this out here, let's go back to utilities. So let's say I have a conveyor down transition. All right, that's going to go down, and it's got to connect at that gray suitcase. And once I connect it properly with the conveyor, then the suitcase will turn green, and it'll be good to go. So I don't have a connection here or here or here or here. You see what I'm saying? Those aren't connected. These are connected, and they're connected properly. So this is a 2-way with 2-way conveyor going around into a 2-way. And here's a 2-way running out and over to another hub with a 2-way connection. And then you've got 1-way All right, now, so this is the baggage depot. Now, the baggage depot is a little bit of a trick. There is, let's jump up to the ground level here. Just kind of visually keep in mind this here. All right, so here's the taxiway. See the lights? That's the edge of the taxiway. So there's one tile of wall width under the taxiway. So if we pop up to ground level, you'll see there's no actual ground level foundation here, but there's foundation underneath. So for the baggage depot, you place it on ground level, right? That's on ground level. 2 floor minus 1. But it has to have foundation underneath it, and then you've got to have your connections right here, which is your transition up and your transition down. And the baggage depot, it doesn't show it here. Let me go back up to the ground level, see if it shows it here. It doesn't here. I think once you place it, it's got that setup, so you'll see where it, how it connects with the little suitcase things. All right, so it's got to come up one side and down the other. All right, that's kind of how it works. So you got to have a hub to split it out to go up and come down back into the hub. Then we run two-way over to another hub. All right, and here we've got the output of these two outputs from this hub run to up to the ground floor to the baggage carousels. And see, it tells you baggage carousel on ground floor. I had to put in this transition there to connect it up. Oh, those may have appeared there. I'll have to look and see. The point being, you come out of a hub and go into the baggage carousels. Makes total sense. There's two-way connections between hubs. All right, so we come down from ticketing here into this hub. We come down from ticketing here into this hub. This hub connects to this hub. So this is really kind of the master hub right here, right? So everything from ticketing flows into here, either here or here. Then it runs out the two-way connection to this hub, which serves the baggage depot. And the baggage carts pick up and drop off bags there. Then everything goes back into it. When they get dropped off, it comes back this two-way, and then it goes out to the baggage carousels like that. All right? Cool. You see I've got my maintenance locker down here. Oh yeah, it is working. It's working properly because I had a baggage scanner going bad, and so I built this, and the guys can access this stairway on the ground floor through staff-only doors. And then they go down this stairway, and they can get through this other staff door to the maintenance locker. Maintenance room has to be 5 by 5, and then you zone it, and then you put in a toolbox locker, and boom, that takes care of your maintenance space. Okay, all right. So now your underground setup does not have to mimic the above ground, whereas the above ground floor 2 has to mimic the ground floor. Okay, see the darker outline over here and over here? That's your ground floor foundation. Okay, so you can see it takes up a lot of space that we don't have underground. All right, now here's my little underground tunnel. So here's that taxiway, right? We did like Atlanta Hartsfield. We come down this escalator or down the stairs, you go across, go up this escalator or up the stairs over to gate B1. You come out of B1, down the stairs or down the escalator, up the stairs, back over to the main terminal, and then they can go out through the security exit over here and out to baggage claim or out to their whatever. Okay, that's how it works. Pretty simple. You can build underground without having to build on the ground. If you build above ground, thus above like second floor, you have to have foundation underneath it, and that's where this gets expensive. All right, so I think what you're going to have to do is get a profitable airport going first, using small gates, and then graduate up where you're pulling in enough money, or you're just going to be ranking up bank loans and thus paying a lot of interest payments to do the upper level. Okay, now one last thing, you see how I've got this double wall deal going here? That's not something I normally do. So when I originally built this, this was the original end wall. this one right here, the one that's closest to the stairs, and it would not let me place them because apparently that didn't work. So I had to add one more row of walls on the backside, and now it works. Okay, I figure you can probably take this set of walls out. I'm not, because I don't want packs somehow finding their way back there and, you know, getting locked up or anything. So I'm just doing that for a precautionary measure to make sure nothing, you know, fritzes out and it causes a bug. Although really we're here, you know, bug testing is to break the game. But that said, this is how it works. So you need one space between your escalators and the wall behind them to get up to the next level. All right, and that would take us up to to ground level and over to terminal B. And we could, you know, expand it off here. We could put other stuff over here. You know, there's all kinds of things you can do with this, and it's just really cool. I'm just thrilled to death with this development. Excuse me. And I'm really impressed. I'm seeing some wear on the runway, and that may have been there for a while. I just hadn't noticed it, but you can see the touchdown marks of the aircraft, skid marks of the tires engaging. Jet airplanes and aircraft in general, when they come in to land, the wheels are not turning, so that's why they're going from dead stop. They make contact, they skid briefly, and that's what makes the smoke cloud and the puff of smoke and the chirping sound you hear when the aircraft lands. Interestingly enough, the space shuttle had motors in its wheels, so it would start spinning the wheels up. So when they landed, they were rolling, and it made it work a little better. Yeah, they still made a puff of smoke and all that, but it wasn't as bad. I think that was part of the design on the space shuttle. So, and there may be some aircraft that do that. I don't know them off the top of my melon. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. So we've talked through the changes. What's been done over here is the key thing. All right, we go to ground level. There's second floor, and then there's third floor. We can build above this. We can't build above this. See here, you can see a delineation. All right, so if we want to build third floor, we can't build it over grass. We can't build it over ground level. We can build it over second level, and second level has to be built over first level. All right, but we can go down to basement 2, and we can build anywhere. All right, see that? We can build under the gates, we can build under the taxiway, we can build under the runway, we can build wherever we want, wherever we want. And I'm thinking sub-level 2 is probably where you're going to run your fuel system, your plumbing and everything for the fuel pumps to get out to the gates. I haven't gotten that far yet, and I don't consider it hypercritical at this point, although because in my other game I haven't started messing around with fueling. So in my Let's Play series we'll probably get to a point where we goof around with that. But right now, I felt like the two most critical things that you needed to understand were how to build multiple levels, how that system works, and transition between them, and the baggage system. All right. So we're going to build that in the next couple of episodes. It'll be kind of a tutorial thing of what to look forward to, the latest and greatest on the Edge server, coming soon to experimental and then rolling out to the general public on SimAirport, now available on Steam. Check it out, link in the description below. Questions, comments, constructive criticism are welcome in the comment section below. Check in with your airport code. Let us know where you are on planet Earth or beyond. You know, keep track of our Let's Play series that's going on, Season 2, and some of the other series we're doing. So give us a like if you enjoyed this video, if it was informative. Share with your friends. Let them know about the latest and greatest on SimAirport and what's forthcoming. If they're not, you know, if you don't want to be bold enough to be bothered with bugs and what have you, and that, play the experimental branch, or just play the, you know, the fully released version out on the general servers. I say fully released; it's the early access still. But what, you know, the latest and greatest, boom, that's been dumped there. It's been tested, and should be pretty bug free. So like, share, and subscribe for more great content coming soon to the channel. We appreciate you coming in, and check out the next one when we come in and start learning how to build multi-level terminals in SimAirport. I'm A-Train. Thanks for coming by, gang. Have a great day. It's over, and I'm out.